Hello and good afternoon from your Co-op Community Stadium. I'm Shaun Cashmore. Next to me this afternoon is Craig Barnes, and you join us on this Bank Holiday Monday in the National League North. It's last season's playoff winners Leamington versus the team that won it the season before them, Rushall Olympic. Last Tuesday night, Leamington had all 3 points stolen from them at the death as a Jed Abbey header meant the game with Alfreton here finished 2-2. That meant that the Breaks made the long journey north just 48 hours ago, seeing if they could make it 3 unbeaten back in this division. Just past the half-hour, Barrow fired in a shot that was blocked by the head of Evans, but from the loose ball, Will Hatfield launched himself airborne to fire in a spectacular right-footed effort to give Darlington the lead. But at the full-time whistle, it was fair to say the host Darlington were well worth the 3 points, despite that slender margin, sending the Breaks to their first ever defeat at the home of Darlington, Blackwell Meadows. As for Rushall Olympic, well, having lost all 3 of their opening games this season, they took on a team Leamington faced the week before in Spennymoor Town and gave the Moors the same kind of stern test the Breaks had. These two share a past in many a way to Leamington and Rushall Olympic. Overall, the tale of the tape is 3 wins for Leamington, 1 for Rushall when these two first ever met competitively, and 1 draw on the FA Trophy of the 15-16 campaign. So it'll be a corner over on the far side that Martin will go across to take left-footed outswinger for the Picks early in this first half. Martin swings in the corner towards the near post. Ewan Williams is there again with a great defensive header, gets it all the way out of trouble. Stewart can't get onto the loose ball. Rushall will pick it up again on the edge. Campbell hooked away this time again by Ewan Williams, who's done his defensive duties well there, and now Rushall will pick it up just on halfway. Up towards Bembo, doesn't quite win it cleanly. Rushall bench won a free kick, nothing doing as Quainer picks it up on this left-hand side, tries to send one long and searching for Berridge to chase. Berridge and Wilkinson do battle. In the end, Wilkinson was not quite comfortable over the ball, couldn't really get a chest or a foot or a head on it, and in the end has just headed it behind for a corner. Leamington take the corner quickly in towards the near post. Rushall weren't set. King manages to clear away from his near post. Leamington will pick it up again with Quainer inside the Rushall half. Quainer's going to swing one in all the way towards Street. Street brings it down the penalty area in towards Berridge. That towards Street. It's going to be Street. Street has a go. Leamington won a penalty. They feel that Berridge was brought down. I think they're only going to get a corner. Berridge still appealing. Adam Walker appealing. It certainly looked dubious. The referee, I think, was more tempted by the advantage than anything else. And it'll be a corner only to Leamington. And it'll be taken over on the far side. Rob Evans stands over it. And I think Quain is going to go and swap with him, but certainly appeals for a penalty in the opening 15 minutes here for Leamington.
Well, it's great play, wasn't it? Lovely ball from Quainer down this near side, the Leamington left. Tim Berridge did brilliantly up against the defender who's much more stout and stockier, won the corner, and havoc was caused from there, nearly resulting in a goal and a penalty.
Throw in for Rushall, deep inside the Leamington half. Quickly going to be taken by McAllidan, is it? No, he leaves it to Campbell and he throws it in towards the feet of King. King has it taken off his toes by Shurrock, who's now backed up into the corner and just has to chip one out for a throw in again. And now Rushall can try and set up and reload this throw in. This time McAllidan does take it. King collected on this right hand side by Martin in towards the edge of the box where King makes some space for himself, has a go, and it's easily held by Hawkins. He had to watch it all the way. It just moved a little bit in the air, but in the end he easily clutched it into his chest and now quickly releases Meredith over on the far side. Meredith over halfway, keeps on going in towards Doyle Charles. Doyle Charles, Meredith again, Meredith all the way to the edge. Fantastic challenge on him by Ashton Offler over on the far side, and now Leamington will have a chance again for Rob Evans to take a long throw. I think Adam Walker has potentially just said a little bit too much, or it might be Callum Stewart who's just being pushed away by Adam Walker, because the referee Jonathan Maskery has just called Walker over to have a word, and I think there's still a little bit of frustration because Leamington definitely feel they should have had a penalty a couple of minutes ago. Evans throwing towards Street, bounces, Walker left-footed volley! Oh, what a strike, Adam Walker! Leamington take the lead at your Co-op Community Stadium, and it's courtesy of the captain in his 116th appearance. He gets into double figures for goals for the club. That's his 10th, and he won't have hit too many sweeter. Left-footed half volley from Adam Walker, flew past goalkeeper Paul White. It's all come from a throw-in on the far side from Rob Evans. It missed everyone, but it certainly didn't miss the left-footed foot of Adam Walker, who just lashed it into the back of the net.
How composed was Adam Walker there? I mean, he just bypassed everybody, as you say, in a blink of an eye. There was Adam Walker, half volleying it back of the net. The keeper didn't stand a chance. I don't think he even moved.
Wilkinson, centre-back to Offler, and then Offler gives it away to Stewart, and now Leamington are breaking with a little bit of intent. Stewart in towards Berridge. Berridge holds it up inside the penalty area. He was never really settled to receive it, but then Callum Stewart just charges his man down straight away, and Leamington win it back. Great play from Stewart. Doyle Charles out towards Meredith on the far side. Meredith just calms things down, sends it down the line in towards Stewart. Stewart seemed to be fouled. That'll be a free kick. Really good play from Leamington, because there could have been 2 or 3 occasions there where they lost the ball and they were hit on the counter. And there's a player in the book as well, maybe for a mixture of dissent and the challenge. I think it may have been Brad Bood, who's been booked for Rushall Olympic. His header has been sent back to him by George Wilkinson, and this time he bowls it out. The first time I've asked him, it was straight to the head of Adam Walker, so now they go down the line this time, do the picks with Bood. Again though, it's really loose and it's poor from Rushall. They give it straight to Stewart inside their own half. Meredith chips one in towards Shurrock. Shurrock takes a great touch. Shurrock finds the back of the net. White couldn't keep it out. He got a touch, but Rushall have been the makers of their own downfall. Give the ball away inside your own half at your peril. Give it to Callum Stewart. That's an even worse idea, because Callum Stewart used the pace, used the agility, fed it in towards Shurrock. Shurrock, great touch inside the penalty area just to get away from his man, and then he sent it past the outstretched glove of Paul White. Leamington double their lead. It's Will Shurrock. It's Leamington 2, Rushall Olympic 0.
And that will mean the world to him, having been released by Rushall last year around the same sort of time when Leamington picked him up after he'd got Rushall promoted to this division. It's a lovely touch inside the box, dispatched with his second, and put the brakes, as you say, 2 goals up.
It's the old football cliche, hasn't it? We've said it before. You always score against your old club. And Will Shurrock, who signed last summer from Rushall Olympic, who he helped win promotion in that 22-23 season, well, the wide front man has come back to haunt them, because he's hit the back of the net and he's managed to double Leamington's advantage. That's Will Shurrock's 5th goal in his 36th appearance for the club, and you can bet your bottom dollar he'll be mighty happy with that one. As a young player who he's asked to play numerous positions across the front line, he's thrived in all of them. Again, Callum Stewart having a really good afternoon over on that right-hand side. He's won the throw in, which Evans will take. Evans in towards the penalty area. Street went down. Doyle Charles wins the header. It's going to come down to Shurrock! Just over the top. Little grin on his face from Will Shurrock. I think he knew he could have done better. I think his eyes lit up as the ball fell down onto his left foot, but he just lashed it over the top of White's crossbar from all of 7 yards out.
Yeah, he thought he was in dreamland there, didn't he? Having scored 1 against his former club, I think he thought, bang, here we go. But yeah, he's just got his foot under it a little bit, and over the bar it went.
Throwing in towards Bood, in towards the near post. Bembo has a go and it's touched in. It's McAlladon, and well, it all came from nothing really. Rushall worked it neatly down the left-hand side. Brad Bood whipped a ball in towards the near post. Bembo tried to get a touch on it, and in the end, McAlladon just came bundling in about 2 yards out and tapped it into an empty net. It's Leamington 2, Rushall Olympic 1. Liam McAlladon has pulled a goal back, and after he chipped in for a goal at the weekend against Spennymoor Town, he's managed to get himself on the score sheet once again. Leamington 2, Rushall Olympic 1.
And there was no way he was missing that. It was literally on the goal line when he touched it in, coming in from the byline. It was good play from Rushall. Cross came in, and there's the goal to make it 2-1. Evans
winds it up, hurls it in towards Edwards. Edwards climbing a little bit, falls down towards Berridge. Berridge, left-footed drive, straight into the gloves of Paul White. Berridge did well just to hold his man off, just to buy himself a little bit of space, managed to turn on it, and the left-footed drive was safely into the gloves of Paul White, the Rushall keeper. Looks like it might be Ant Lynn. Of course, 5 subs that can be used off the bench this season, which I think is a massive benefit to teams at this level, as Callum Hawkins goes long up towards Stewart. Stewart being wrestled and hauled down, and Bood could be in trouble here. He's going to make his way into the book, and Bood has already been booked, and Bood is given his marching orders. Well, I wasn't sure who picked up the yellow card in the first half over on the far side. I thought it might have been Brad Bood, but there's no doubt who's picked up the second yellow card. It's Bood again. Long ball forward. Stewart, a nuisance as always. He managed to just roll Bood a little bit, tried to get away from him, and then clear as day. Bood had a whole load of his shirt. Second yellow card. He was booked in the first half for the free kick on the far side, and Brad Bood gets his marching orders and goes for an early shower, and Callum Stewart has a little look around and says to the Rushall players, well, I'm not entirely sure what else I could have done. He was all over me. The referee was ideally placed as well, Jonathan Maskery. There was no doubts about it from him. He sauntered over, pulled the yellow card out. Bood knew what was following. It was the second yellow. It was the red. Rushall 2-1 down and down to 10 men.
Well, he can have no complaints about it, can he, really? Stewart was just too quick for him. It was a proper rugby tackle, wasn't it? All over his midriff, trying to bring him down, really, trying to just delay him, trying to stop him. And nothing wrong with what Stewart did. He was just hauled down.
Street stays forward. Lynn and Edwards in there. Edwards trying to make a run from deep. Edwards hurls it in towards Edwards, who wins the flick on Shurrock at the far post. Ball up, scrambled, punched away, going to fall down to Evans. Good drive, good block, really good block as well, because it cannoned off the body of the number 5 Ashton Offler. Rob Evans hit it strong, sweet and true, but it goes out of play for another throw-in on the right-hand side. And Rushall win themselves a corner, so Leamington need to make sure they defend their box well. So the ball will come in from Charles. Leamington 2-1 to the good. In towards the near post. Headed goalwards and headed just wide. Well, there's a warning sign for Leamington. Really good delivery from Charles into a dangerous area, and time seemed to stand still, really, as the number 2, who's just come on, Cameron McWilliams, got a glancing header on it, but it was a yard or so wide of Callum Hawkins' far post.
And we were saying about Charles's deliveries, weren't we, about 10-15 minutes or so. It's a good ball in there, and Leamington are going to have to be super careful from set pieces and from the height that Rushall have introduced with their substitutions.
Rowe stole one. Rowe bears down on the goal. Rowe crosses in towards a dangerous area. Really well blocked though. They took it off the toes of Charles, who just dawdled on it, and now Charles will try and spring it up towards the top man, Jerry McDonough. McDonough gets around the outside of Evans. McDonough 1-on-1. Good save by Hawkins. Made himself big at the near post. Quizzical looks towards both linesman and referee, but nothing given as McDonough got goal side of Evans. Evans went down, and then McDonough tried to stand up Callum Hawkins at the near post and slide it under his body, but Callum Hawkins stood big and strong and blocked the effort, then gathered up the loose ball. It was a decent save, but it potentially wasn't the best finish in the world from Jerry McDonough.
And this naivety nearly reared its head again, didn't it? Because Leamington just couldn't quite get back enough, but Hawkins, superb to stop the breaks, conceding a second goal.
Paul Holloran pointing down the far end of the pitch. He wants this ball nowhere near his goal, but Leamington have given it away only as far as Quainer. Does the ball forward come from Rushall? Ant Lynn looked like he was coming back from an offside position, but nothing doing, and Doyle Charles will chip it into a channel for Stewart to chase. Too much on it, collected by White. We tick towards full time. Is there a chance left for Rushall in this game? No, there is not. The long ball forward from Paul White, the goalkeeper, is greeted only with the full-time whistle. Leamington have really had to dig deep in this second half, potentially deeper than Paul Holloran would have liked. But in the first half, Leamington took a 2-0 lead into half-time. Goals come in from captain Adam Walker and former Rushall Olympic man William Shurrock. And then at the start of the second half, Rushall made things interesting. They managed to pull one back, courtesy of Liam McAlladin, after good work on the left-hand side from substitute Charles, put the ball into a dangerous area, into the path of McAlladin, who couldn't miss from all of a yard out. Then, as Leamington looked to try and settle and take control of the game with a lead, Rushall Olympic were reduced to 10 men. Brad Bood, who was booked in the first half, picked up a second yellow card for hauling back Callum Stewart, and that meant that Rushall had to see the game out with 10 men. So it's finished here at Kirk Community Stadium. Leamington 2, Rushall Olympic 1. We'll speak to you again soon.
Paul, you said after Saturday it lacked a bit of quality and know-how. Do you think that was answered here today? Leamington obviously have come away with the 3 points against Rushall. Your thoughts on the game?
I thought our first half performance was where it needed to be. It was sort of the response that we were sort of looking for after Saturday. Lots of lots of energy, lots of purposeful play, and asked lots of questions. And to be fair, probably I think we're probably unfortunate, not to be more than 2 up. I think sadly then restarts were a big threat of these, whether it's from the goalkeeper through a quick sharp. They got the overload on the left-hand side. The cross has come across I'll just somehow come across our first zone, our second zone. It's a poor goal, and you could see us a little bit then. I think, listen, we played 4 games in 9 days in this division. But don't get me wrong, listen, we did enough second half. I just felt like it was blatantly obvious, especially when they went down to 10. The space was in the wide. They went really narrow, like a diamond. We just had to get the ball wide more. And we did enough. And listen, there was an element in the performance second half that we've conceded a lot of late goals already. We've had points snatched away here last Tuesday. We had points snatched away at Buxton. But we did enough. I thought the first half was as well as we've played all season. I think second half there was a bit of know-how. There was more know-how there. We dealt with things. We did rely on one great save from Callum. Now, listen, I think on the balance of play, we thoroughly deserved the result. But we just made it probably a little bit more. I was hoping we could go on and ask a few more questions and maybe get that third goal. Wasn't to be. Rushall did much better second half. They asked a lot more questions. They were more resilient. So yeah, but listen, it's a great 3 points for us. We're unbeaten at home. Yeah, that's a good. With the start, when you look at the start we've had, you'd take that. We've obviously there's a couple of 3 points that we've dropped with a bit of late lapse. But as I've spoken in the interviews earlier on, there's a lot of players finding the way. I think if you look at Joe Doyle-Charles on Saturday, you could see that he struggled to make an impact in the game, and that was just a little bit of not coming against a team like Darlington before, but you come in early today, a little look. I thought it was excellent today. He's played in the right areas, and he's and some of these boys just a game understanding at this level, and hopefully we learn from the mistakes we've made early doors. And the fact that we've seen the game out today is an improvement on the last time we were here, because we weren't able to see it out. And obviously these are a big threat with the set plays as well. So listen, absolutely shattered the boys are. They really are. I was talking to Adam before the game, who's just stepped up from step 3 to manage at this level. And it's one thing beating step 2 sides, National League sides in one-off games, but when you're in a week in, week out, it's really tough. So we're physically, mentally, so delighted for them. They deserve that result today, and so we'll have a breather, and we'll get to Liverpool Saturday and Manchester Tuesday night. But that's the nature of the beast.
Just said there, Leamington are undefeated at home. The next 2 games are all away. How important is it to have a good away form as well as home form?
Well, listen, paramount is the home form. Obviously, we know that is. The home form will always be, like a lot of clubs, the home form would be the platform, the springboard. Yes, we've got to, we could have got 1 or 2 points on the road already, I think possibly. So that's something we've got to try and address. It's been a long-standing problem that's gone over the last 10, 11, 12 years in the National League. But yeah, we've got to find ways of doing that. But confidence, hopefully that'll give everybody a little bit of a lift, get sort of the average thing out of the system. 4G on Saturday Marine, really good, both good home sides. But listen, we've been very competitive in all the games we've played. It was a really tough start when you looked at it. Saturday, I said it after the game. You look back, it was a game that was, yes, Darlington, as they do, had the ball in deep areas and whatever. But it's another day. I think if we'd have managed it better, we could have got a clean sheet there. So we're not a million miles away. I still think we need a little bit more, but. That after the first block of games, now got a little break for a few days. That's a satisfying start, and I think our performance has probably deserved another point or 2. But no, we've bedded some boys in. We've got all kinds of goal scorers, different players scoring goals, all types of goals. There's lots and lots to like about the first little batch of games.